You felt it, haven't you? That heavy, restless feeling at 3 a.m., scrolling through your phone, watching everyone else's highlight reels, promotions, engagements, perfect families, while your life feels like a puzzle missing half its pieces. You stare at the ceiling, asking, why can't I figure this out? What's wrong with me? Let me tell you a secret. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are awakening. Imagine a caterpillar. For weeks it crawls, eats, follows instinct. Then one day it stops. It hangs upside down, spins a chrysalis, and dissolves into liquid. No legs, no eyes, just goo. If that caterpillar could panic, it'd scream, I've ruined everything. But nature doesn't judge the process. The mess, the uncertainty, it's not a crisis. It's transformation. Your lost phase, it's your chrysalis. Let's talk about why this feels so terrifying. When you face uncertainty, your brain's ancient survival system, the amygdala, sounds alarms. It floods your body with cortisol, screaming, danger. Fix this now. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the calm, logical planner, gets drowned out. This isn't a flaw, it's biology. Our ancestors survived by fearing the unknown. But today, that same wiring turns, I don't know, into a life sentence. Now let's expose the lies society feeds us. We're told that by 25, you need a degree, a partner, and a 5-year plan. By 30, a mortgage and a corner office. But here's the truth. Those timelines were invented to sell you things. Ads whisper, buy this course, and you'll find your purpose. Social media shouts, look how perfect my life is, while hiding the midnight breakdowns and deleted drafts. We've turned, having it all figured out, into a status symbol, and labeled anyone questioning their path as lost. But history's greatest visionaries thrived in the fog. J.K. Rowling was a divorced single mom on welfare when she sketched Harry Potter on cafe napkins. Steve Jobs dropped out of college, wandered into a calligraphy class, and later called it the foundation of Apple's design. Vincent van Gogh painted Starry Night from an asylum battling loneliness. The poet Rumi wrote, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Your uncertainty isn't weakness. It's the universe nudging you to grow." Let's try something. Grab a pen and paper. Write down 3 moments you felt lost. Maybe it was a breakup, a career failure, or a quiet Tuesday when life felt meaningless. Now, beside each one, write what you learned. Did you discover resilience, empathy, a hidden passion? Those lessons aren't random. They're breadcrumbs leading you home. Type, "I'm not lost, I'm learning" in the comments right now. Let's break the shame together. Every time you comment, you're rewriting the story for yourself and for someone else watching who thinks they're alone. Here's the truth. Society calls it being lost, but I call it becoming. Becoming who you're meant to be requires shedding who you were. That job you quit, it wasn't a failure, it was a boundary. That relationship that ended, it wasn't a waste, it was a mirror. That dream you're afraid to chase, it's not naive, it's your soul whispering, "This way." Think of a seed. It doesn't bloom by clinging to its shell. It cracks open, pushes through dirt, and grows toward the light, not because it's sure of the path, but because it trusts the sun is there. You are that seed. The confusion, the doubt, the ache for more, that's your roots stretching. Your light is coming. This chapter isn't about fixing you. It's about revealing the map you've always held, the one etched in your courage, your questions, and your quiet longing for meaning. The maze isn't a trap. It's a training ground. Every wrong turn is a lesson in disguise. So the next time you feel lost, say this: "I'm not lost. I'm unlearning. I'm shedding. I'm becoming." Say it until your shoulders relax, until your breath deepens, until you remember the greatest adventures begin with a single step into the unknown. Stay with me. By the end of this journey, you'll see the fog not as a prison, but as the first light of dawn. And that light, it's been inside you all along. You felt the cracks, haven't you? The moment your carefully built life splinters, a job loss, a breakup, a diagnosis, and suddenly the ground beneath you crumbles. What if I told you that this is where awakening begins, not in the light, but in the rubble? Let's talk about the 3 stages of transformation: disruption, curiosity, and alignment. Stage 1. Disruption. Disruption doesn't knock politely. It smashes through the door. Think of J.K. Rowling in the mid-90s, a divorced single mother living on welfare, diagnosed with depression. She'd board trains just to write in warmth because her apartment had no heat. Rock bottom? Absolutely. But rock bottom became her foundation. In her words, failure stripped away everything inessential. It taught me things about myself I could have learned no other way. That manuscript scribbled on napkins, it became Harry Potter. Your disruption might not make headlines, but it's just as sacred. The layoff that forces you to pivot. The heartbreak that cracks you open. The illness that rewrites your priorities. These aren't punishments, they're portals. Disruption is life's way of saying, the old version of you is too small. Let's build something wilder. Stage 2. Curiosity. After the storm comes a strange stillness. The noise of shoulds fades, and you hear a whisper, what do I actually want? This is curiosity, the antidote to paralysis. Think of a child, they don't ask, is this practical? Will people approve? They just follow wonder. A toddler doesn't judge their finger painting, they marvel at the colors. Let's reclaim that. Try the 5 whys exercise. Grab a journal. Start with a surface-level desire. I want a better job. Ask why 5 times. 1. Why? To feel respected. 2. Why? To believe I'm worthy. 3. Why? To stop seeking validation. 4. Why? To trust myself. 5. Why? To live freely. Stage 3. Alignment. Alignment is where your soul and choices sync. It's quitting the toxic job before you have a backup plan. It's saying no to the crowd to hear your own voice. It's terrifying and liberating. Science backs this. The HeartMath Institute found that when your heart and brain are coherent, when intuition and logic align, your body releases feel-good hormones like DHEA, boosting clarity and resilience. Here's how to practice. Place a hand on your heart, breathe deeply, ask, what's the next right step? Not the perfect step, not the grand gesture, the next step. Your heart's rhythm will steady, your mind will quiet. That's alignment. J.K. Rowling didn't write Harry Potter to impress critics. She wrote it to survive. Steve Jobs didn't design Apple to fit trends. He followed a calligraphy obsession that made no sense until it changed tech forever. Your alignment won't look like anyone else's. It might mean leaving a marriage to find peace, or staying in a humble job to prioritize family. But here's the catch. Alignment isn't a destination. It's a daily choice. A friend once told me, you don't find yourself, you decide yourself. Every time you honor a gut feeling, every time you trade supposed to for want to, you water your awakening. So let's pause, close your eyes. Think of one aligned choice you've made, no matter how small. Maybe it was deleting a toxic app or finally booking therapy. That's your proof you're already awakening. Type, I choose alignment in the comments. Let's flood this space with courage. This chapter isn't about avoiding pain. It's about letting pain sculpt you into someone bolder, softer, truer. Disruption breaks the mask. Curiosity asks the scary questions. Alignment whispers, trust me. Stay with me. In the next chapter, we'll rewrite the stories that keep you stuck. Because you're not just awakening, you're becoming magic. You know that voice in your head, the one that whispers, this is just how I am, or I'll never change. That voice isn't fate, it's a story someone else started writing for you and you've been editing ever since. But today, we're tossing out the old manuscript. We're writing a new one where you hold the pen. Let's break down how to rewrite your story from victimhood to empowerment. The power of language. Words are spells, they don't just describe reality, they create it. When you say, I'm stuck, your brain hears a life sentence. When you say, I'm evolving, it hears an invitation. Let's dissect this. Imagine two people facing the same setback, a job rejection. Person A says, "I'm a failure, no one wants me." Their brain floods with cortisol, narrowing focus to survival mode. They spiral. Person B says, "This hurts, but I'm learning what's aligned for me." Their brain releases dopamine, sparking curiosity. They update their resume, network, or pivot. Your language isn't just talk, it's programming. Try this for the next week. Replace "I have to" with "I choose to." "I have to go to work" becomes "I choose to contribute my skills today." Feel the shift. That's agency. That's rewriting. Shadow work. Embracing your rejected parts. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Your shadow, the parts you've buried out of shame, isn't your enemy. It's your disowned power. Let's unpack this. Think of a trait you hate in others, maybe judgmental people. Now ask, when have I been judgmental? That cringe, that's your shadow knocking. We reject in others what we refuse to see in ourselves. But here's the magic. When you integrate your shadow, you reclaim its energy. Your flaws become fuel, neuroplasticity, rewiring your brain. Your brain isn't hardwired, it's clay. Every thought, habit, and reaction sculpts it. Neuroplasticity means you can literally rewire your mind. Let's break it down with science. Studies show that repetitive negative thoughts deepen neural ruts, like a hiking trail worn into a trench. But when you consciously choose new thoughts, "I'm learning" over "I'm failing," you carve fresh paths. MRI scans prove this. After 8 weeks of mindfulness, subjects' amygdala fear center shrinks, while the prefrontal cortex wisdom center thickens. Tool: daily affirmations plus evidence journaling. 1. Affirmations each morning declare, "I am resilient, I trust my growth, I choose courage." 2. Evidence journaling. Each night, write one tiny proof. "Today I spoke up in a meeting," or "I apologized instead of deflecting." Why does this work? Your brain craves patterns. Over time, "I am resilient" becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, putting it all together. Let's pause. Think of a story you've told yourself for years. "I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. I'll always mess up." Now rewrite it. Old story: "I'm stuck in this dead-end job." New story: "I'm gathering the courage to explore what's next." Type your rewritten story in the comments. Let's create a gallery of empowerment. Pain is not the enemy. It's the uninvited teacher who arrives in the middle of the night, sits at the foot of your bed, and says, "You will listen." But what if I told you that pain is not here to break you? It's here to remake you, to alchemize your suffering into strength, your wounds into wisdom, your scars into stories that light the way for others. Let's explore how to turn pain into purpose. Post-traumatic growth. When trauma becomes a catalyst. Malala Yousafzai was 15 years old when a Taliban bullet tore through her skull for daring to speak about girls' education. She woke in a hospital, her face paralyzed, her future uncertain. But Malala didn't just survive, she transformed. She became the youngest Nobel laureate in history, turning her pain into a global cry for justice. Then there's Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived Auschwitz. He lost his family, his freedom, and nearly his will to live. Yet in that hell, he discovered a truth. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. His suffering birthed logotherapy, a school of psychology that teaches meaning as the ultimate healer. These aren't superheroes. They're humans who faced the unimaginable and asked, "How can this pain serve something greater?" Post-traumatic growth isn't about erasing scars. It's about realizing your scars are proof you've outlived the storm and now carry its wisdom. The gift of sensitivity, why empaths are evolutionary leaders. If you've ever been told you're too sensitive, this is for you. High sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's a superpower. Studies show that 20% of people are highly sensitive persons, HSPs. Their nervous systems process stimuli deeply, making them more empathetic, intuitive, and attuned to subtleties. In ancient tribes, HSPs were the healers, the storytellers, the ones who sensed danger before others. Think of Greta Thunberg. Diagnosed with Asperger's, she once described her sensitivity as a superpower that fueled her climate activism. Or Fred Rogers, the gentle host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, who turned his quiet, introverted nature into a legacy of radical kindness. Sensitive souls feel the world's pain deeply, but that's why they're the ones who heal it. Your sensitivity is not a burden, it's a compass. When you cry at a stranger's story, when you ache for the planet, when you feel overwhelmed by noise or chaos, that's your nervous system saying, I'm here to protect, to connect, to lead with love. Interactive segment. Share your turning point. Now it's your turn. Think of a struggle that reshaped you, a loss, a betrayal, a quiet moment of despair that became a pivot. Type it in the comments with this phrase, my pain became purpose when. Maybe it's, my divorce taught me to love myself. My anxiety led me to mindfulness. My illness showed me what truly matters. No detail is too small. No story is too messy. This isn't about comparing pain. It's about honoring how far you've come. As you scroll through others' stories, you'll see you are not alone. Your pain is not wasted. It's part of a collective alchemy, turning lead into gold. You've awakened. You've rewritten your story. You've alchemized pain into power. Now what? How do you stay aligned when life's storms try to blow you off course? This chapter is your toolbox. We're building rituals, boundaries, and clarity to keep your inner compass steady, no matter how rough the seas. Let's begin. Daily anchors, morning rituals, and evening reflections. Your day is a blank canvas. How you start it sets the tone. Imagine two versions of you. One version A wakes up to a blaring alarm, scrolls through emails in bed, and rushes into the day feeling frazzled. Version B wakes 20 minutes early, lights a candle, and sits in silence. They stretch, sip water, and whisper, "Today I choose peace." Which version thrives? Studies from Harvard show morning rituals reduce anxiety by 27% and boost productivity by 33%. But let's ditch perfection. Your ritual doesn't need incense or Sanskrit mantras. It just needs intention. Try this: meditation, 5 minutes of breathwork, apps like Insight Timer guide you. Movement. Dance to one song, stretch, or walk barefoot on grass. Mantra, pick a phrase like I am grounded or I welcome joy. At night, reflect, not with self-judgment but curiosity. Ask, 1. Gratitude. What's one tiny gift today gave me? A stranger's smile, a good meal. 2. Forgiveness. What do I release tonight? A harsh word, a missed deadline. This isn't woo-woo, it's neuroscience. Gratitude journals rewire your brain to spot positivity. Forgiveness lowers cortisol by 23% per UC Berkeley research. Energy management. Protect your vibe. Your energy is currency. Every interaction, scroll, and obligation spends it. To stay aligned, you must budget fiercely. 1. Boundaries. Say no to what drains you, even if it's nice. That coworker who vents daily. I care, but I can't hold space right now. The family dinner that exhausts you. I'll stay for dessert, then head out. Boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to self-respect. 2. Digital detox. Your phone is a slot machine for your brain. Dopamine hits from likes keep you hooked. Try tech-free zones. No screens 1 hour post-wake-up pre-bed. Use apps like Freedom to block social media during work. Science fact: a 2023 Stanford study found that limiting screen time to 3 hours a day reduces anxiety by 40%. You're not missing out, you're reclaiming your mind. Purpose mapping. The Ikigai framework simplified. The Japanese concept of Ikigai, your reason for being, is often shown as a Venn diagram. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. But let's simplify. Grab your purpose blueprint. 1. Passion. What makes me lose track of time? Writing, cooking, fixing cars. 2. Skill. What do others compliment me on? Listening, organizing, creating art. 3. Impact. What breaks my heart about the world? Loneliness, pollution, injustice. Where these overlap is your ikigai. Maybe it's starting a community garden, passion plus skill, plus fighting food insecurity. Or mentoring teens, listening plus advocacy, plus healing loneliness. Your purpose isn't a job title, it's a thread weaving through everything you do, putting it all together. Let's pause, open your notes app or journal. 1. Choose one morning anchor, meditate, move, or mantra, commit to it tomorrow. 2. Set one boundary, a toxic habit, person, or app to limit this week. 3. Ikigai prompt. If I had 1 year to live, how would I spend it? Type your chosen anchor in the comments. I rise with meditation, I move with dance, or I affirm my worth. Witness the collective power of aligned choices. Closing note. You are not here to hustle until you collapse. You're here to bloom, rooted in rituals, guarded by boundaries, guided by purpose. The world needs your light. Protect it, nurture it. Let it shine. You've journeyed through the fog, rewritten old stories, and turned pain into power. Let's revisit the light you've uncovered. 1. You're not lost, you're awakening. 2. Disruption is the universe nudging you to grow. 3. Your words shape your world, choose them fiercely. 4. Sensitivity is your superpower, not a flaw. 5. Alignment is a daily choice, not a destination. Every step you've taken proves it. You are the author, the alchemist, and the light. Now let's make it stick. If this series resonated with you, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Why? Because your light matters here. The world needs voices like yours, voices that turn pain into purpose, fear into fuel. But don't stop there. Share this video with one person who needs to hear, you're not lost, you're awakening. Tag them in the comments, slide it into a DM, forward it silently. You never know whose chrysalis moment you might ignite. Finally, take a deep breath. Place your hand on your heart. Feel that? That's your inner compass, steady and sure. Trust it.